I don't know that I could say it any better than Dan Campbell just did. It's kind of our job to put things in context, but I think Dan Campbell just nailed it.
Love it.
Because we just spent the last segment at each other's throats, acting as though the NFC is a two-horse race. But ignore the Lions at your own peril. Since you and I last saw each other, I saw the Lions in person, which, by the way, as I was saying that, I'm laughing at myself. Why do people do that? As if there's more credibility to me watching the same game you saw from a monitor in the green room. I mean, we all saw the same game. I mean, I saw them in person. Like, so when you watch it on TV, it's like it doesn't matter.
Hey man, listen. No, there is. There's more credibility. There is. That's okay. I don't want to get off track, but I'll just say, if you look at it the right way. Now, for Michael Smith, there is more credibility for being there because Michael Smith will go outside the green room and actually talk to people and pay attention. Now, some people will just be on site and they think, hey, just being on site is enough. That's not.
I mean, I was in the press box. No, but I saw them manhandle Green Bay at Lambeau. Since you and I last saw each other, that was last Thursday. And no, actually, no, I'm sorry. We saw each other since then. I'm sorry. It's all running together.
But anyway, you saw them.
I saw them recently. That was the last time that's the last time we all saw them was at Lambeau. Then they follow it up, as Dan Campbell just alluded to, with doing what good teams do, which is manhandling inferior competition in the form of the Carolina Panthers. They're built they're built a lot like the teams we just finished talking about.
Exactly, they really are.
They're built, they're constructed to maul you up front with that offensive line and that running game. Jared Goff is more Brock Purdy than he is Jalen Hurts. But Jared Goff, and that's somebody that I know you defended quite a bit. You and I went at it about the Rams and that trade to bring Matthew Stafford as if the reason why the Rams had been to and not won a Super Bowl was Jared Goff. Whereas here he is, he's giving the Lions everything they could want out of a quarterback. People have been trying to replace him since he got there. Like, oh, he was just a throw-in, and who's going to be the guy after Jared Goff? No, they got their guy. They got their guy for the present and the immediate future in Jared Goff. They got who did work yesterday, by the way, with no Amon-Ra St. Brown, no Jahmyr Gibbs. They got their own George Kittle and Sam Laporta. Aiden Hutchinson is so damn disruptive right now. Did you see that one-handed pick? That INT, OMG. Like, it is.
And how many picks? Look at this. Look how many picks he has.
There you go.
I mean, he's a defensive lineman.
Who knew? I mean, he's a disruptor. This team, despite some unfortunate injuries, they are legitimately good. They have already taken a leap from good story and upstart to legitimately good team that has to be dealt with. And for all the talk about an inevitable rematch in the NFC Championship game that you and I can't get over, the Lions going to have a say before it's all said and done.
Exactly. One of these teams can take might find themselves in the ring with the Detroit Lions, and they may not make it out. You know, I'm going to say the ring. The Lions Den. The Lions Den is too easy. That's too easy. I don't want to go there with the Lions Den.
But just looking at these updated Super Bowl odds, I'll take the Lions right now over the Cowboys. If we're looking at for like a third team in the NFC after the Niners and the Eagles, I'm definitely taking the Lions over the Cowboys easily.
Although, if we're going to be biblically accurate, Daniel made it out of the Lions Den. Right. Right, never mind. But I'll say this. You're right about Detroit. See, this is my team. This is our team.
If you're new to this show, I'm just about to say, if you're new to this show, we ain't new to this. We've been on this Lions thing for several years now, right?
Yeah, This is and that's why I said, this is our team. This is our team. The Lions, the official team, a brother from another. It doesn't sound like it because it sounds like I'm repping Philly and you repping San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm repping San Francisco.
We really like Detroit, and we got on Detroit very early, and I just like what they're doing. They are growing, And they're doing it the right way. Like you say, they're built similarly, and they may even be better. Like this is intentional. It was intentional from their part. The same group from day one came in and did this. Whereas, hey, look, Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman had some picks there before Sirianni got in place, and he had his philosophy. And I know Lynch and Shanahan have been together for a while, but they had some players in that roster. They had some picks available to them because they were bad for several years in a row. And so, but for the Lions, it's just year 3 of Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, and they have come in and quickly flipped that thing over. I mean, who does this? Mike, you already mentioned Jahmyr Gibbs. They trade up to 12 for a running back. Who does that in 2023? They trade up for a running back. They signed Montgomery, another running back, great signing, who has been phenomenal for them. They draft a linebacker, an inside linebacker in the first round. They draft Penei Sewell after he slipped. He could have been like the top 5 pick in the draft, and maybe some people, not me. Some people said Cincinnati could have drafted him.
Sure, yeah.
But they draft him. They hold on to Jared Goff. They make smart signings. They draft well. They have the right mentality, right coaching staff. They made some changes on the staff to really perfect what they're trying to do. The Lions, I think we invested in them, Mike, because we said one day the Lions will be there. Well, we might be a little behind. The Lions,
yeah, they're there.
They might be ready right now. They might be ready now. There. I like them. I like the way they think. Ferocious.
And I like you just gave me an easy segue. You mentioned our infamous discussion about what the Bengals should have done at the time with the. Yeah,
you should know better, Mike. Mike, I hope you learned. Have you learned your lesson?
In the 2021 draft, gentleman by the name of Jamar Chase, who is always effing open. Yesterday, he was open to the tune of 15 catches for 192 yards and 3 touchdowns. And, I only remember the stuff I say because, like I told you, I'm not a 49ers fan. I'm not a fan of anybody. I'm a Michael Smith fan. I root for being right. People are like, who you root for? I root for me. I root to be right. So I remember the things I say when I was right. I don't remember everything I say all the time. Did I write the Bengals off? I don't think I did, because going back to preseason, you had Bengals over Eagles in the Super Bowl. I had
in the championship, yeah.
You had Bengals over Eagles, right? Or did you have Eagles over Bengals?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I had 49ers over Bengals in the Super Bowl. But the way they started the year, we were like, maybe this is different. Because, they came back from 1-2 last year. It's like, I don't know. It's like, what a difference a week makes, what a difference a win makes, what a difference a more Bengals-like win makes. Because now they're sitting here 2-3. We ain't even really got to unpack that game that was Baltimore-Pittsburgh. That just was such a weird game that Pittsburgh won. And obviously Cleveland's got their own problems with injuries. Deshaun Watson's not practicing. It's like Cincinnati could end up winning this damn division again and going deep into the playoffs again if Joe Burrow is in fact all the way back and healthy and finding Jamar Chase. It's like maybe they just needed a little bit more training camp before they were operating and firing on all cylinders like the Bengals we've come to expect in recent years and like you and I both expected they will be. But as long as one is out there, like what they say? He down there somewhere. Jamar down there somewhere. Throw it up. Let him go get it. Let him do his thing.
Well, look, he can talk about 7-Eleven all he wants. He's right. He's open. He's a tremendous receiver. He really is. He really is. All jokes aside, like I told you, when I was on the Bengals beat for that Super Bowl, that Rams-Bengals Super Bowl, when I was on the Bengals beat, first time I actually saw him in person. So I told you, I saw a guy, I was like, who's that linebacker walking by? Oh, that's not a linebacker, that's Jamar Chase. Like I had seen this dude in person. I never would have doubted him. I mean, it's incredible. Finely conditioned athlete, fast, strong, very competitive, all the things that you want, all the things that Joe Burrow wants. But that aside, 7-Eleven, I'm always open, that's not the story. The story is not number 1. The story is number 9. If Joe Burrow is out there and he's right, forget about it. ain't like they could win the division. If Joe Burrow is out there, they will win the division. If Joe Burrow is healthy, the best team in the AFC North, respect Pittsburgh, respect Baltimore and Cleveland. I know Cleveland is like 5-1 against Joe Burrow, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Nah. It's him and that team. So the challenge will be keeping him healthy and then convincing him that he's himself. I think a lot of it has been psychological for Burrow.
Sure.
He hasn't, like yesterday looked like himself. You know, a couple of times, stepped up into the pocket, ran a couple of times. Okay, there it is. And I just didn't see that. I certainly didn't see that last week against Tennessee. It looked terrible. And this week, looked like the same old Joe Burrow.
And I'm glad you said that, because we are just one game removed from like what the F is wrong with the Bengals, scoring 3 points for the second time in 4 games before yesterday. But don't tell me it's just the Cardinals. The Cardinals are, they're not about that tank life. Cardinals are competitive. Cardinals are physical. Cardinals are better than people still want to give them credit for. It's like by now we should realize like they're not to be taken lightly. Bengals did not. Bengals also did what good teams do. I think, now I haven't talked to you about this, I think our favorite story from week 5, Sunday, at least that is, I think our favorite story, because we both gave Sean Payton the business after the Dolphins gave him 70. So now the game we were all looking forward to is Denver versus Zach Wilson's New York Jets. And wouldn't you know it, Jets win behind Breece Hall's 177 yards on the ground. And the game ball, of course, went to Nathaniel Hackett. Sean Payton, as I said before, and I'll see him this Thursday. Chiefs, Broncos on Thursday Night Football, but for purposes of this here show, shouldn't have been talking shit. So it's like, I mean, we knew this was going to happen. We knew they were going to go in there, because say what you want about Nathaniel Hackett as a coach, people like this dude. And not just Aaron Rodgers. Like, people like this dude, and they played for this guy. And what I see, tell me if you see the same thing, is a Jets team, say what you want about Zach Wilson, say what you want about Nathaniel Hackett. A Jets team that continues to play for one another, especially since Aaron Rodgers set them straight, like, hey, watch with the finger pointing, okay? Versus a Broncos team that I don't know that they're responding to Sean Payton the way that he assumed and many assumed that they would. It was like, just add water, just add Sean Payton, and everything's going to be all right. It's like, no, that's not how it's transpired. Whereas the Jets may have a formula. I don't think it's a playoff formula. I mean, Zach Wilson has improved. They know they can run the ball with Breece Hall. That dude's a horse. Their defense, is going to be there. They got a formula. They have a formula. I'm not sure about the Broncos' chemistry. Your takeaway from that matchup?
Yeah, I think, and I don't know, I haven't done the full study on it, but I'm just starting to think about this in all sports, but particularly in football, where coaches who come from a certain school are becoming outdated, becoming extinct dinosaurs, any way you want to put it. And Sean Payton is a Bill Parcells guy. And Bill Belichick, in some ways, is a Bill Parcells guy. You know, they had their famous split, but come from the same cloth. These coaches who kind of make it about them, the guys who think they can just talk to you any kind of way and call you out. Look, you can go off on a generational rant if you want to. I just think it's just the evolution of society, the evolution of coaching and teaching. Students are different, teachers are different. And so Sean Payton, here's a perfect example. Zach Wilson, a couple of weeks ago, has a miserable game against the Patriots. And Robert Saleh comes out afterward and said, hey, he's not the reason we lost the game. And I've seen improvement from Zach Wilson, and we're going to stand behind him, and our locker room is good. And despite what Joe Namath has to say, I understand he can say whatever he wants, fine. Sean Payton yesterday, Russell Wilson, key turnover in the game, Payton all up in his face. For what, dog? Hey, man, they ain't going to respond to you. Russell Wilson's not going to respond to that, and your team won't either. It's just a way of doing business. And I think Sean Payton's way for 2023 is a little outdated. They're not going to respond to that. You got to change.
Yeah.
Adapt or die, Michael. Adapt or die. Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.